My name is Gabrielle Campbell. I am 18 years of age and I hail from the community of Cornwall Court in the parish of St. James. My interest in poetry started when I was maybe 6 years old. In primary school, I would represent my school at JCDC doing standard English poetry. And then as time went on, I started writing my own. However, I didn't actually start taking my work seriously until I was 13. And I wrote my first spoken word poem about womanhood. And since then, I've just been, writing, and it's really a way for me to express myself. Sometimes words seem sort of tricky, and persons may misunderstand or misinterpret me, but with poetry, there's a level of, maybe not ambiguity, but I'm allowed to use that to my advantage. I'm allowed to use those metaphors, those similes, and sort of intertwine my own personal experience with artistry and the flavor that poetry adds to communication. So it is my first time entering the competition, and really the experience has been more of a prize to me than actually winning. It's felt so surreal since the day I got the call that I was shortlisted up until now even. I really appreciate the opportunity, and it's given me a new love for my art and my work. I have met so many people with the same passion, and it's just been amazing to feel seen and heard and get to know other people in the field, because I haven't met many young writers. And I'm actually one of the youngest from the batch. So it's really cool to get like that sort of mentorship and also give my own 2 cents. Well, for me, I really don't know where this journey is gonna take me, but I'm very excited to see the path that lies ahead of me. Mostly, I'm appreciative for the exposure therapy, because this is actually my first time putting my work in such a public space. It's very scary, but I think it's necessary, especially considering what I write about. And I'm hoping that I get to do more public speaking or interviews or performing. I really love performing, so I hope that is one thing I really want to do more of. Be authentic. My tutor for creative writing at the University of the West Indies always says that poetry is cutting yourself open, bleeding on a piece of paper, and presenting it to the world, and it quite literally is. So don't take that away from yourself. Don't shy away from that authenticity and writing from a place of feeling and emotion. Put your emotions behind whatever you write, even if you're not writing about yourself or your own personal experiences. Still ensure that you're putting yourself in the shoes of the persona of your poem. I think empathy is one thing that has helped me do that as a young poet and also just learning about the world around me. So yeah, immerse yourself in your work and give it your all, put your best foot forward, and don't shy away from being you. Don't lessen or dim your light. Be loud. So the name of my poem is An Ode to Puke, and I think when most people hear the title, their first response is that's kind of weird. But it's about exactly what the title says. It's an ode to puke. It's all the reasons, or most of the reasons, I felt like throwing up. It was inspired by me wanting to vomit. I was really nauseous one day. I was very sick. And I remember driving from Ochi to Kingston thinking, I am so tired of being nauseous. And I can't imagine how many other people are just as tired or even more tired than I am of this agitating, uncomfortable feeling. And I thought of all the reasons why I've ever felt this way, and I started writing about it. It took me about 10 days to finish. After the first 2 days, I got like the rough draft down, and then the rest of it was perfecting it and sort of just getting lost in the craft. I enjoyed playing around with the imagery of puke and eating and digestion, I guess. The title in and of itself is very ironic because an ode is usually something that's praising whatever the topic is. However, I find that oftentimes we praise the human experience without understanding the reality of it. We sort of romanticize this life of, body positivity, or, some people make light of trauma or whatever the case may be. But I really wanted to create a space where it was okay to talk about these heavy and uncomfortable topics. And I didn't want my poem to feel too metaphorical, to be in your face, because really you're not supposed to feel comfortable talking about this because it is a heavy topic. And I wanted my readers and listeners to feel that and to know that if this is something you're going through, you are seen and you are heard. On the bathroom floor, in the washroom sink, in the living room, somewhere behind school, wherever it happened. This one's for all the reasons I've had to throw up. 1. For the times I was simply sick. High fever, runny nose, chest tightening, room spinning, the kind of sick that'd make a child repent. 2. For the nights when dinner was whatever made depression digestible. When anorexia was better than being alive, as if purging could clear out the panic, the shaking, the noise, the thoughts too loud to chew. Like maybe if I purged hard enough, I could throw up my anxiety too. 3, 4. The days when grief sat heavy in my gut. When loss became a meal I couldn't digest. Days when loneliness swallowed me whole. When healing felt more like hunger than hope. When mourning felt more like motion sickness. And I kept running to the bathroom, trying to regurgitate the memories. The laughter that curdled in my chest. 4. For the days I could feel their hands around my throat, under my shirt, up my skirt. Days I forgot my body was my own. Days I wished I could cut myself out of my skin, burn the memory from my mind, but I can't. So I wear their scars like translations for pain that never learned to speak 5, 4, the days I was just being a girl. Days my womb turned tomb for all my happy thoughts. Days when pain was the only thing keeping me conscious, as in I've downed so many pills you'd think I'd be able to at least take a nap, but instead I'm bent over the washroom sink while my stomach turns itself inside out. I don't remember any of the painkillers, having depression and self-destructive thoughts as side effects. 6. For the days I mistook survival for living, when breathing felt like an obligation and staying wasn't the same as wanting to. 6. For the days I felt nothing at all. 6. For the days of empty and numb, when silence felt safer than screaming, when the world kept spinning and I just watched. 6. For the days I felt everything all at once, when I was more slave than master to my own mind. Days I prayed to the only one who understood, because on those days I had given up on making sense of my own feelings. 7. For the days my insecurities scream louder than the ringing in my ear. Days I feel more victim than survivor, when the metallic tide of trauma lingers in the back of my throat. The mirror doesn't look kind, but it looks back. And somehow, this body is still learning how to keep something down. Thank you.